How to install the native GAMS version on Linux. In this video, we will install GAMS on a Ubuntu Linux distribution. We will also install a GAMS license file and run a simple example from the GAMS model library. Let's start off by opening a browser. On the GAMS homepage, we can click on link Download Current GAMS System. We can see the Unix installation notes by doing a right-click and choosing Open Link in a new tab. Let's open a terminal window that allows us to interact with the operating system through a command line interface. This terminal uses a bash shell. Let's first get superuser privileges in order to have permission to install GAMS for all users. On Ubuntu, we can use sudo-s in order to get permissions to install GAMS in the opt folder under the root directory. On other Linux distributions, you may use su to log in as root and obtain root privileges. If you do not have sufficient privileges, then you may want to install GAMS under your home folder, for example in a subdirectory named local. Hence, then you may follow the steps in this video with only minor changes. Let's change the directory to the root directory and list the content. Use command change directory and / to change the current directory to the root directory. Use command ls to list the directory content. Change the current directory to the opt folder. We can then make a directory called GAMS and change the current directory to that directory. We can use wget and the website link address to download the GAMS distribution. On link Linux 64-bit, we can do a right-click and choose Copy Link Location from the menu. Observe that if you want to use a graphical user interface, then you may use Linux Wine. Extracting and executing the bundle will open the GAMS IDE. Note that Wine is a third-party software that can execute Windows-based programs. Wine is, at the time of making this video, a freeware. GAMS does not support Wine, however, you may still find the GAMS Linux Wine bundle useful. Note also that your Linux or shell needs the capability to execute 32-bit software. We can then, in the terminal window, right-click and paste the link. If this does not work, then we may download the GAMS distribution with a browser and move the installation package to the opt folder. Use command chmod to change the file permissions so that we can execute the file. Let's give execute permissions to the GAMS installation package by executing chmod 755 and the file name. The autocompletion can be used by pressing Tab after you have started to write a file or folder name. Execute the file. The / before the executable file denotes that we want to execute the file that is located in the current directory. We can now remove the installation package if we want to. Change the directory to the new directory, which in fact is the GAMS system directory. We then run the installation procedure gamsinst that sets the default solvers and specifies who has right to access the GAMS system folder. I hit enter in order to choose the default solver choice for all model types and give everybody access to the GAMS system folder by choosing option 3. If you have a GAMS license file, then copy it into the GAMS system directory. We can also install a GAMS license file by creating text file gamslice.txt in this folder and opening it with a text editor. Here I use gedit. I have copied the email content that I have received from GAMS in a file that is on my desktop. I copy the license file content by doing a right click and choosing copy. Then I paste the content to gamslice.txt and save the file by closing the editor. Execute command gams to see that GAMS is ready to be used. You may also execute check for update to verify that you are running the latest version of GAMS and that your GAMS license file is correctly installed. Note that it is not recommended to run GAMS programs directly under the GAMS system directory. Now let's change directory to the home directory and add the GAMS system directory to the path environmental variable in the bash configuration file. This will allow us to find the GAMS executables without specifying the full GAMS system path. Let's first use command print working directory name to display the current path, which is currently the GAMS system folder. Copy the path to the clipboard by marking it, right-click and choose copy. Now we can use command exit in order to not be a root user when we edit the bash configuration file. Change the directory to the home directory. Edit the bash configuration file .bashrc that should be accessible without root permissions. At the bottom of the file, add path equal to $path : and paste the GAMS system directory path. Furthermore, type export path to make sure that the path is exported automatically to the environment of subsequently executed commands. Close and open the terminal to enable the changes. Echo the path environmental variable to verify that the GAMS system directory can be found there. You can also type GAMS and hit enter to verify that GAMS is found. Now, let us create a new folder where we place our models. Make directory gamsdir under documents. Then let's change the current directory to the new directory. I press the up arrow key to see the previously executed command on the command line. We can retrieve model transport from the GAMS model library. We can view the model in a text editor. This model describes a simple transport problem. Command GAMS followed by the model name executes or runs the GAMS model. We can now see from the solver output that an optimal solution has been found. However, GAMS writes a listing file that contains information about the model and the found solution. We can open the listing file with a text editor. If we scroll down, then we can find a solve summary. Here we can see that the solver terminated normally and found an optimal solution for the model. If you are interested to try out more models, then you can find more models in the GAMS model library. To view the models, you can go to the GAMS homepage. Click on the model libraries, GAMS model library, and then subject index. For example, the previously sold transport model can be found under category Management Science and Operations Research. Recall that command gamslib followed by the model name can be used to retrieve a model from the GAMS model library.